definitely need to talk about this caster situation. Hey, what's going on, guys? Snivypootis here. Welcome back to the video. And today I wanted to make a video about the current caster discrepancies going on. That's been going on really, but now the Fruit coming out has highlighted it even more. I know it's been a while since I made a video, and I apologize for that, but can't really be helped. You know, sometimes I got really busy talking through on my own time, and you know, just doing reclears and all that stuff and all other stuff for my streams. So I apologize for, you know, the slight delay. Also, I caught a cold recently. I'm still coming off on it, so if I sound a little bit what's the word, nasally, I guess, or like I feel like I'm dying on mic, then that's why. So I apologize if I sound a little bit worse for wear, but hopefully it should be cleared up by the time next video comes out. Anyway, that being said, I really just I would have waited longer for my cold to clear up, but I really just wanted to talk about this while the iron was hot, so to speak. Well, I guess it's more just lukewarm now, but still. So yeah, we all know Picto, right? The caster that everybody is playing right now for obvious reasons, because it's just good at everything. Has the most damage, it has a raid buff, it has a lot of utility, it has like movement, it has like basically everything you could possibly want in a job, on a caster specifically. And you know, it's also pretty easy to play to boot. It's not, I'm not gonna say it's stupid easy or anything like that. I'm not gonna say it's brain dead, because I really despise that word nowadays, to be honest. But yeah, it is not the hardest caster to play, but it definitely has some skill ceiling to it. But I feel like that if you were to try and give someone Picto, like a full kit with Picto under level 100, tell them to try and figure out how to play Picto optimally, or like not optimally, but just how to play it correctly, they'd probably be able to figure it out in like maybe 2 hours or less, depending on how skilled they are in MMOs. But anyway, I digress. I really feel like that the caster discrepancy in terms of like what can be good and what can be bad has gotten really out of hand lately. Mainly because when it comes to like, when you have like red mage, you got summoner, you got black mage, and now this Picto, people were expecting Picto to be dead on arrival, right? Like it's honestly ironic, because like people were going on and on about how Picto didn't have a battle res, so it wasn't going to be viable, it wasn't going to be good. People were worried that it was going to be like the shit caster, or that no one's going to want to pick it, you know, all that type of stuff. People were just basically thinking, oh, Picto's going to be bad, there's no battle res, so and you know, it doesn't have anything else going for it, so what's the point? And this was like early on in the media tour. And that was like before people started seeing like the actual kit in it, and but people were still like not sure if it was going to be good. And you know, there was no way of knowing that until you actually got your hands on it. Like the majority of the masses, not just the content creators who got their hands on it. And you know, that's understandable to think about. But you know, it turns out no, Picto's not dead on arrival. If anything, it's thriving. If anything, it killed all the other casters in its arrival, and they're dead upon its arrival, to kind of put it into weirder words, I guess. But long story short, Picto is extremely good, and I think that it's a bit ridiculous as to how good it actually is. I know that, you know, and before I go on with this, there's no shame. If you like Picto genuinely, then that's fine. Like, you don't have to feel like that, oh, if all the people talking crap about Picto, it means that I can't play Picto because I'm gonna be like one of those you know, all the other people who are playing it just because it's the best job right now. And it's like, you know, if you genuinely like Picto, like aesthetically, or you just like how the job plays, or you just like being, you know, the highest damage dealer, whatever your reasoning, that's fine. If you want to play it, then there's nothing stopping you. But I'm just trying to go off of the people who are playing Picto out of necessity, not so much out of like genuine love for the job. Because there have been plenty of cases out there, some of which I witnessed in real time, of people swapping to Picto instead of playing their preferred caster, just because, you know, like their caster isn't doing enough. The Summoner is a great example of this, because we've all known Summoner has been like pretty much bottom of the barrel for majority of Endwalker and most of Dawntrail as well so far. And nobody really likes having a job that does like not a lot of damage. But the thing is, there's always going to be a job at the bottom of the barrel, no matter how good you are at the job or how bad you are. There's always going to be a job that statistically does the least amount of damage out of all the other DPS jobs. Let's strictly talk about DPS because healers and tanks don't really matter here. But when it comes to DPS, there will always be one at the bottom of the tier list in terms of RDPS or ADPS, whatever you want to compare them by. There's always going to be one at the bottom. So when it comes to the point, though, when you have someone coming in on, say, I don't know, like even just Red Mage, which is pretty okay caster. When you have someone coming on Red Mage, and then you go in and you clear the fight, you clear the Savage fight, whatever. And then you go in on Picto, and then they just start zooming through it, and they skip almost like an entire phase just because they're on Picto, even when they don't know how to play it that great. That's a whole different story, because people are being forced off of their preferred caster, sometimes their preferred role in general, just to play Picto, because like people are thinking really that if you don't have a Picto in any sort of scenario that you're just throwing, especially when Fru. Because in Fru, and honestly not just Fru, DSR top, I don't know about the older ultimates. I don't think it does that great in like Ukab or Uwu, but in like DSR top and Fru for specifically, Picto is eating really, really good. And the reason for that is because it can do a lot of things in downtime, majority of that being painting. And the majority of the time you're painting in uptime, because you got to get your cast your motifs off for your burst windows and all that stuff. But when you can do it all in downtime and just have it ready for the next time the boss comes up, then you can just instantly just do all your motifs. And so you basically just coming in with like 1200 potency, 1400 potency, 1400 potency, like back to back to back, in every sort of like window of damage that you have before the boss goes targetable again. And then as soon as you aren't able to hit the boss anymore, you just go right back to painting all your motifs. And you don't have to worry about anything other than doing mechanics and painting your motifs. And if you really want to be lazy, you can swift cast paint 1 and you just run around for 5 seconds. It's really, really showing that Picto is great designed for ultimates. That's cool and all, but what's bad about that is the fact that it's really making other people not being able to play the jobs they want to play, caster wise specifically. Like, I don't really think it's affecting other jobs, but it definitely shows whenever you have a Picto versus when you don't have a Picto. Like, I'm a firm believer that if you are playing a job that you like, whether it be, again, aesthetically, or you're just used to it, or you just like the job design, whatever. If you're playing a job and you like that job and you want to stay on that job, you should be staying on that job, instead of just being like, I don't know if we're doing good on damage. Can you play Picto? Or, I don't really think Summoner is a good idea. Can you play Picto? Or, I don't think you're going to be doing great on Black Mage. Can you play Picto? Like, no. You should just play what you want to play. There's no reason for you to ever have to swap unless you want to swap. But if you're being like begged to swap or forced to swap or being threatened to swap, then that's just not good, because people are just going to be getting lazy and thinking that, as long as we have a Picto, everything's fine. Damage check, no problem, there's a Picto. Like, people are going to be reliant on Picto until eventually, I'm not saying it will happen, and I don't think it should happen, but let's say for a scenario that Picto gets nerfed and its damage is like a lot less, like crazy for the bursting and stuff, especially with the downtime stuff, then people are gonna be like, okay, well, we've gotten this far relying on Picto, now you gotta actually fix up your damage in case there's like a weak link in the party that's like not pulling their weight great enough, especially when it comes to ultimates, because some of the DPS checks in ultimates are really tight. So like, if you're having to rely on Picto just to, skip an entire part, like, instead of just doing because you can skip it without the Picto, but most people just like picking a Picto just to like have that extra insurance. And, you know, again, if the person wants to play Picto and they're also agreeing, yeah, I want to skip more stuff, then that's fine, you know. But if they're being forced to swap and they just don't like playing Picto, but they'd rather play a different caster or a different job, then that's a whole different story, because that's not, in my opinion, I don't think anybody should be forced to play something they don't want to play simply because, you know, their static lead begged them to. Like, as a static lead myself, I would never ask my teammates to swap jobs just because I think it'd be more optimal in that given situation. If they want to come in on a job that doesn't do as good damage as a different job, then I don't care. Like, as long as they're able to play that certain job fine, then that's good. All fine by me. It's kind of like me with Smash Bros. I know I'm gonna go off on a tangent here for a second, but like, because in Smash Bros, it doesn't matter who you pick. Guaranteed, there's obvious winners and losers in terms of like strengths and weaknesses, but it doesn't really matter who you pick at the end of the day, because you can still destroy people with that character if you're good enough with them, because you know the character like the back of your hand, so you know all the matchups that they don't excel in and know what part of the why the matchup screws with their character. So like, I feel like that it's better to reward mastery over something that you love, and even if it's not the best in that situation, rather than trying to pick the top tier meta pick for every given situation. And you know, again, if you're one of the type of people who like doing that, then that's cool. But me personally, I don't think that's how a game should be run, because it just kind of incentivizes people to only play the jobs that are, you know, again, the best performing. Because, you know, what happens when Picto gets nerfed? Then the drop rate, the pick rate goes like fucking rock bottom. So it's like right now, I think Picto has like almost like a 100% pick rate in Fru, which is ridiculous to think about, because there's like 3 other casters, and you're telling me that Picto happens to be the one caster that's in every single party for the most part? Like, that's insane to me. Like, there should not be a scenario where you have a job that has that high of a pick rate. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a job like Picto with so many parses on FF logs before. Like, it had the difference between like Picto, like, you know, the parses on Picto to like, I don't know what the second most is, but the difference between the two is substantial. Like, it's almost a 20k difference. It's not even funny. Like, when the pick rate is that high, then there's obviously a problem. Now, how Square Enix is going to address this is beyond me, because, like, again, I know people are just going to be pitchforks and font signs saying nerf Picto, nerf the damage, reduce potencies, but they're like, you know, it's easy to say to nerf the potencies and, you know, everything's solved, but then, you know, you're inadvertently hurting the other casters because you're punishing Pictos for being good at their job. And then, you know, Picto's all of a sudden not going to be good anymore. No one's going to want to play it. Yeah, it has a rate buff, but like, everyone really loves it for the damage, let's be real. So like, I think what they can do is what, like, this is just a theory crafting. I'm not a game dev, so don't flame me here. But I think what they can do is slightly bring Picto back in line. Maybe just make sure that Black Mage does more damage. First of all, just give Black Mage his 1% damage back. That was dumb. But anyway, they need to bring it back in line with Red Mage and Summoner. So, and Summoner should be doing more than Bard and Dancer. So that way, you know, it's a bit more fair then. Because if more than Machinist is a bit ridiculous, but like at least more than Bard and Dancer. And then, you know, have it do, let's say, 2k, 1k more than Red Mage. I'd say that'd be fair. And then Black Mage just be the top caster because it's a selfish caster. That's what it's supposed to be. But like, I know that's easy for me to say because I'm a Black Mage lover. So like, you know, why wouldn't I want Black Mage to be like the top caster of the bunch? But I'm not saying that really out of bias. I'm saying that out of like just how job design works, because theoretically speaking, if you're playing a job that is selfish and brings nothing to the party, utility or rate buff wise, it should be doing the most damage in that given role. But whenever it's not doing the most damage in that given role, then that's kind of throws all that out of the window, because like, what the hell is the point? Because you're bringing a job in that doesn't give anything to the party, and not even the one thing it's supposed to give to the party, which is damage, or contribute to the party, which is damage. It's not doing that either. So then you kind of have yourself a conundrum where it's like, okay, well, I'm playing a job that does nothing but just does damage, and it's not even doing more damage if I were to play this job instead, which does have damage and has a rate buff and has utility. That's the problem with Picto. I just think it has too much. I don't really think the damage is really that bad. I just think it has too much. I honestly would not be mad if they just completely removed Starry Sky as a rate buff in general and just made it into something else. Because at least then it would have a one major difference. Because 2 Selfish Casters, I can live with that. You know, I know it would be kind of, it'd be kind of new because we only have really 1 Selfish job for each role for the most part until Viper came along. So, but like that's even, actually no, thinking about it now, like Viper is also a Selfish melee, so there's no reason why we can't have another Selfish Caster. So why not just make Picto selfish so that way it's not, you know, doesn't have a rate buff and do a shit ton of damage. Like, it can't have both. It really just can't have both. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. I know this video is a lot longer than what I usually do because I tried to keep them short, like 10 minutes or so, but I really had a lot to say on this because as a caster player, I feel really directly like affected by the epidemic. I don't play caster in high-end content as often as I used to, but I still play caster off, you know, in like extremes and stuff. And it really does suck whenever I go into a raid or something and all I see is Pictomancer everywhere, and it's like I get the hustle, but at the same time it's like, come on man, like I want to see more black mages, more summoners, more red mages. I don't care if they don't do that much damage compared to Picto. It's just I crave variety, and when everyone's just playing Picto, it's kind of like, you know, what can you do? But anyway, be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video, and subscribe and you know, if you want to see more videos like this where I talk about random stuff that's on my mind. There's a playlist down below that will be, well, you know, not down below, but it's on the screen, that will show you everything that you need to see. Anyway, that's it from me, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.